Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, good evening and welcome back to Rangers Radio. Rangers 5, Kilmarnock 1, and an interesting game at Ibrox, but definitely a game of two halves. Join myself, Oxford, back in the show as well, Robert. Evening, Robert, once more. How you doing, mate?
Evening, mate. Aye, pleased with that. Emphatic victory. 3 points was the most important thing. Couple good goals in the game to talk about. So, 3 points and 5 goals, 5 different scorers.
But I took that before a ball was kicked. Was extremely disappointed with the first half performance, mate. We started poor, got the goal, were okay, and then just ran out of ideas. But in the second half, there was shoots of some decent play, and we'll come to the players that come on the pitch. Real positives for me. But as you said, 5 different scorers. Could have been what, 2 or 3 more easily in the second half without being ridiculous. And a blunder for Jack gave them a goal, we should have kept a clean sheet. But I think when we lost the goal, it spurred us on to get the other 2 goals. So ultimately, 5-1, absolutely delighted. Let's look at the league table since Danny Rowe came in, mate, and we're now 3 points behind and nearly clawed the goal difference back, mate.
It's a remarkable turnaround, mate. I know we've had a few blips. Obviously, Sunday, you look at it, the frustration's there, of course, but to go tonight and still put on a performance where we're getting 5 goals and 3 points, and as you say, to be in touching distance now of the leaders' hearts, just shows you how much work's went in such a short space of time. Again, not getting carried away because we're not top of the tree where we want to be, but we're certainly facing that right direction, mate, where we want to be going as well. And I said, as you've touched on as well there, some good individual performances, good bits of play. Overall, mate, I'm happy with that.
I thought in the first half, I thought Mikey Moore was the one positive. He got a lot right, and a lot of our other players got a lot wrong. We didn't make as many chances. Maybe Asgard could have shown. I was sent a stat that he never touched the ball to a Rangers player for 26 minutes. I thought he was poor. Gassama was poor. He's never comfortable on the right, mate, even though he got his penalty in a sending off. But I don't know what you think. It's definitely a penalty. I don't know if the guy really meant it, but with the rules of the game, it's a sending off, mate. Good play with McHoma, young Jaden, and then excellent play by Mikey Moore. And a good run by the gas man, yeah.
Aye, that's where he can be dangerous as well. Not just with the ball, Ox, but without the ball. He makes that run into the box. Mikey Moore does well to come inside, create a bit of space for the pass initially. And then obviously the defender, again, I don't know how much he's really meant it, but as you say, letter of the law, it's denying him a goal scoring opportunity, and he's got to be sent off and obviously they get the penalty, which I think at that moment in the time, given the fact it's early in the game, you thought you would maybe kick on after that, but that first half did frustrate a lot of people.
Aye, but it's no the result. It's frustrated, and if the goalie's making good saves and they're defending like they did in the second half, and you're making chances, they're blocking it, and everybody's excited, and you're watching some decent football. But we were too slow, and the tempo was wrong, and some of that came sometimes from the midfield, no passing the ball quick enough, or the centre backs just holding on to that split second to let them get into their shape, which was 4-4-1, and then so you really end up playing against 8 men in defence, and it becomes difficult because there's no space. But we didn't move the ball quick enough, and we didn't keep more width. And sometimes when we had players wide, like more than that, we're all running towards them when we've got to get in the box. So hopefully we'll learn from that. But we definitely improved in the second half. And the 2 subs come on, Big Nordy, Norderry. Yeah, does that sound better? Yeah.
Naderi, aye, go with that.
Norderry. and romance, mate. Yeah.
Mhm.
And well, first of all, they're both extremely mobile. And I've got to say, young Jaden, who we thought's been good, he's got competition to get in that team, mate, on first impressions. I know he didn't have a lot of defending today, but going forward, romance, wow. I'm not saying he was man of the match, because Mikey Moore was a man of the match by a distance, but he stole the show for me with his intelligent runs, mate, and the power of his runs.
He's certainly got an engine on him. He looks like a good athlete. He's getting forward, getting back as well. As soon as the ball was out of play, he was running back just to get into position. Just not that Kilmarnock were getting as a kind of threat at that time, but he was just getting back to be set up rather than dilly-dallying back, which sometimes you can be guilty of, especially against 10 men. But I thought his forward runs, even if he wasn't getting the ball, he was that inverted fullback role that we like to play these days. He was dragging players away, allowing space for Mikey Moore, particularly late on in the second half. And then obviously he gets forward as well, gets the assists. I liked how early he was putting the crosses in as well, and they weren't high and adventurous. They were just hitting with pace, hoping somebody would be there. And obviously gets an assist with the Antman goal as well. So on first impressions, it is certainly a good competition at left back. But McGoma's done nothing wrong to kind of have him dispossessed of that jersey. But on first impressions, then we've got two good left backs in the hands, mate.
Aye, which has got to be a positive. And Norderry, look, mate, mobile, unlucky not to score. Yeah, done everything right, just put it by the right side of the post, showed a willingness, decent touch. And what surprised me was the pace, mate.
It's the first thing I saw when the ball was played back to their keeper. He sussed it out, he smelt it, and he ran after it, and he showed a blistering bit of pace, which I wasn't really expecting, if I'm being honest. But I also liked his work rate as well. There was a time where it was almost in the right back position, right wing back area, and he was there winning the ball back, causing a nuisance. So I liked that as well. He looks hungry, he looks confident. I think him and Romans, they didn't seem nervous coming onto the pitch for their debuts. They just seemed to have an aura of confidence about them that they'd played there before. And I think that helps when, obviously when you're coming on and you're winning. But I thought that both of them impacted the game without doing anything too spectacular. But going forward, mate, we could have two good finds in our hands at the minute.
Aye. So, first impressions, mate. Yeah, you can only judge in 10 games' time. We might be saying, wow, the first game was excellent, but first impressions, the two of them really well. So, first half, as I said, we petered out. Second half, we started more brightly. Whole team played better, but particularly Mikey Moore, mate. He was making things happen. And then Miofsky gets the goal. I didn't think Miofsky did a great game. And I'm not judging that because you could argue that he never got a lot of service in the first half. I just think sometimes he wasn't between the sticks, mate, and he's know where the centre forward should be. And so when they go there and you're looking up and he's no there, mate. So either he's putting instructions or that's the way he's trying to play. I don't know, mate, but it was still a good goal we scored, mate, to take it 2-0 and calm everybody's nerves, mate. Yeah.
Without a doubt, it's a good finish, and it's surprising that where he scored it from, because when you're that far up the park, you'd expect him to be in and around the penalty area, waiting for the ball to come through or ricochets, but he creates the space by dropping deep. Again, whether that's instruction because the box was overloaded and he found an area of space, but the finish was quite good in the corner away from the keeper. But again, I agree with yourself, his overall play, it's not the same as you get from Chermiti in terms of hold-up play, movement, and on first impressions, it doesn't look like he's going to be, indeed he's going to be that kind of player either. He seems to be the more mobile, the three strikers as well, him and Chermiti. But I think Miofsky's overall play, I think that's where a lot of fans are frustrated by, his overall kind of general play with and without the ball. But again, good finish. Did settle the nerves right, and rightly so, because there was a lot of tension. You could hear it in the stands, a lot of moans and groans, and they felt it 1-0. It's always a dodgy scoreline, and we've seen it in the past.
Aye, I get it, mate. So we get the second, and then we get the third. Then one of my new players scores the goal. Again, coming down the left-hand side, mate. Intelligent play. picks him out. Yeah, Roman's again involved. And a good finish for Scove Olsen, and hopefully, mate, we get it right with the minutes for him, and that gives him confidence. Yeah.
Here's hoping, mate. Here's hoping. I think you'll see a lot more game time from him on Sunday in the cup game. I think he'll probably play the most part of that game. Again, I said it in the pre-show. It's just about getting his minutes into his legs, because he hadn't played since November, but he hadn't really played a almost 90-minute game since September. So that's a long time to kind of out in the cold with injuries and stuff. So hopefully he does. And a goal's always a confidence booster. But what I liked is his positioning. As a winger, you'd expect him probably to back post. He was very central. Again, whether that was just because Kilmarnock had down to 10 men, there was space, or whether it's a tactic. But he found the space, and the finish was pretty decent as well. Gave the keeper no chance with it.
Yeah, so 3-0 up, and you're saying, right, let's go and get another couple of goals. We did, but in between that, mate, we had a calamity, and it's didn't just Jack Buckland's lack of concentration, mate.
It is. There's no other way I can address it up, mate. He's took the eye off the ball. He's trying to look to who's available to pass it. But I'm going to be honest here, Rox. I don't think the throw-in should have went back the way in the first place. I know I'm probably going to be a bit critical here and sound like I'm trying to defend Jack Butland. I'm not. But Aarons has got the ball. Scove Olsen standing 2 or 3 yards away from him, unmarked, and he could easily play it to him for Scove Olsen to take the ball. But he dilly-dallies, Kilmarnock reset, have players on him, and he has to go back to Giga. I just felt, again, it's avoidable before it's even came to Butland by just throwing it up the line.
Are you saying to me that Aarons can't go forward, mate? Is that what you're saying?
Well, it turns out he can't go forward with a throw-in either. But then the next throw-in he gets, he puts it right up the line because he doesn't want to make the same mistake again from what's just happened moments before it.
Right,
but I felt it could have been forward.
After that happens, mate, the Giga, who, by the way, with Fox's hold, holding site, Long John's on, mate, had a decent game. He plays in Butland, and what Butland's got to do better. He was under no pressure, mate. He just made an absolute mess of it, yeah.
Aye, I'm not defending him. I'm not defending it, mate.
I think that moment spurred us on to go and get the other 2 goals, mate. I think the game could have petered out. So we got the other 2 goals, and then so Ant-Man got a goal, you know, which was a good finish, and then Mikey Moore got what he deserved, yeah, and it was good for Ant-Man to get a goal, yeah. He was involved quite heavily in his cameo, mate.
He was, and he also played out on the left side, so he could come inside onto that right foot. Between him, Moore and Romans, we looked very dangerous down that left-hand side the last kind of 10-15 minutes. We obviously get the goals from that area as well. Good confidence booster for Ant-Man. Obviously, he's been through some injury worries, and he's had his critics and his question marks, but again, hopefully he looks at it, he gets a goal, feels a bit more confident about himself, and he can contribute going forward. And Mikey Moore, as you say, I think the goal just topped up his performance. A lot of the play went through him. He was finding pockets of space, trying to link up play as well, and I think the goal was justified and deserved, and man of match for me as well. But I also thought Diamondi did a decent game. If he could shoot properly, we'd probably have a goal.
If Diamondi could shoot like George Albert's, mate, we'd be selling him for 60 million, yeah.
I would think he'd be our club if he could shoot like that.
Aye. So, look, mate, really pleased with the result. We can pick holes in the performance. Doesn't matter. I just want to just give you this, mate, before we move on, yeah, and get the phone lines open. Danny Rowe came in. We were sitting with 9 points, yeah. 13 points behind Hearts and 8 points behind them, and they had a game in hand when I looked at it, yeah.
Yep.
So we were -1 goal difference, mate, yeah, -1. We'd already conceded 9 goals, only scored 8, and we'd won 1 game, mate. 1 game, yeah. If I said to you then that we would be in front of them, 3 points behind Hearts, waiting for them to call me Ibrox. And by the way, you've got to get a shout out tomorrow. They were setting a point behind us at the time. And they've come with some decent form as well, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, so, look, mate, it's been remarkable. We know we're not the finished article. But I think, on first impressions, we've got players that might help us going forward, yeah? Olsen needs to get fitter, and if he can score goals, and I'm not saying every game, but if he can chip in with goals, plus. First impressions of Romans, good. First impressions of Big Nerd Derry, good. And I've no minded Big Chuckalani, or what was the Fox called him?
Tochi.
Tochi. I think Tochi is okay, mate. Big physical, covers a grunt. Yeah, because I think one of the problems in the first half was sometimes Raskin get too involved and he's running and getting the ball. Now, he didn't do a lot wrong, but he's just play the position. But against 10 men, get the guys wide, play the position. They went to a 4-5-1. Keep your two centre backs plus your two full backs up. Keep the wingers out wide and get people on the box. And we never done it, mate. We should be able to work that out on the park. We don't need the manager to tell us that.
Nah, you should, mate. You should, and just be disciplined in your position. Know they read the game. You can see that they're down to 10 men. They're going to sit in deep and deep. So the only way you can kind of try and get around that is by allowing your fullbacks to go up. And if that means you having to sit back, just be the dictator, then that's what Raskin or Diamondi would need to do. And more so probably Raskin, because Diamondi was getting forward. But aye, if we can see it, the players would certainly see it. You don't need to wait to half time for your manager to see it. But I think he did change that almost kind of instantly at half time. For the second half, you saw Tab and Magoma slightly higher, which caused again us to be on the front foot that second half. But I thought the changes also helped.
I was glad when he took Tab out, mate. I just thought I was concerned that he'd done something stupid, and it was close to that when there was a coming together. I don't think it was in it, but close to that when they're coming together. It made sense to take him off. I would have actually took him off at half time. Yeah, I think that's part of modern football now, mate. You're being booked, you're playing against 10 men. Yeah. Don't take the chance. Keep it 11 against 10.
Aye, there's rationale and kind of smartness about doing a substitution, particularly when somebody's on a yellow card, and you probably felt that, I'm not saying it was a foul, but that one, as you're saying, they're coming together. One more like that, it could have been a different outcome, and the referee's got a decision to make, so it made sense at the time to take him off. But if you took him off at half time for that reason alone, you couldn't really argue. He was involved in the first half, 10, 15 minutes. He was quite heavily involved, obviously get the penalty and scored it. Well, took the penalty and scored it, but other than that, it was just tab of tab. But again, if you took him off at half time based on a yellow card, you would have no questions to argue with that. But I thought Danny Rowe get the subs bang on in it, mate.
Listen, mate, now the game's finished, we're 1-5-1. You get everybody minutes, we've protected some players, we've got other people hopefully coming back for injury. You know, Shermiti and Big Fernandez. Yeah, there's no, let's be honest, the Giga started playing reasonably well for us. You know, Suter had moments of good defending. He had a right clanger when he put it out for a corner right off, didn't he?
He did, right. Well, I got me my Kilmarnock corner anyway, so I was alright with that.
Were you waiting on man, were you?
Yes, indeed.
All right. What was your flutter? Did it stop?
No, I was one away. A booking away.
All right, was your kept tab on then?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not tab. It was a Kelly booking.
All right.
So, unfortunately, not me.
Fair play to Kilmarnock. They never shut up shop and they try to play. Yeah, obviously they get pinned back. That they wasn't low blocks. It was just they went up 4-4-1 when they went down to 10 men.
Nah, they stuck to their guns. They started to cause a few problems even with the 10 men. I think you heard the crowd kind of getting a bit nervous and moans and groans again because they were getting in, they were creating chances, which against 10 men you don't expect. But they never harmed us in that way. But they were resolute. They stuck to their game plan. I think again just playing with 10 men for large parts of the game, they tired towards the end as well, and we obviously brought the subs on, which made an impact for both sides.
Let's go and win the next 2 league games, mate, and then regroup. Yeah, regroup.
Yep, indeed.
Right, we get the phone lines opened.
Absolutely. Sure, happy bells out there.
Let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Mr. Fox has just asked me, did the 4-4-2 work better in the second half? It's hard to judge, in my opinion, mate. I thought that Romans was excellent. All our play in the second half seemed to come down the left-hand side, yeah. And I think Maurice Ross got it spot on when he initiated it. He said the Rangers players have got one job tonight: get it to Mikey Moore. You know, when
That's pretty much it.
You know, so I thought as the game went on, you really couldn't see if the 4-4-2 did benefit us. Not against it, but it's because the game had changed and the spaces had opened up, and I thought Romans brought his energy down the left. I didn't think we were particularly great down the right in the second half, but I was glad to see it, mate. It just shows you that Danny's no stubborn there.
No, he's not. He's not. And we touched on it pre-show that he's shown in previous games that he can do formation changes, personnel changes in game when it matters and when it's needed. And I think, as I said, he's got the subs spot on the night. The subs come on, made an impact. Romans gets an assist. Antman gets an assist and a goal. Scott Olsen gets a goal. So they've contributed from the bench, and he's got it right. It is hard to judge, as you say, the 4-4-2 because there is Kilmarnock's tiring. They're a man down. They've worked hard off the ball when having to work for an extra man as well. So it's hard to gauge. But I think maybe going forward, we might see two strikers up front. He touched on that in his press conference yesterday with the arrival of Nadiri, that you can have possibly two strikers on the park. But for me, I think what you take away from tonight, mate, is you've had Olsen come on and score, Antman come on and score and get an assist. So Mikey Moores had a man of match performance, got a goal. Gassama, we've questioned before. Now suddenly Gassama might find himself on the bench because they three players have contributed more in a cameo than he did for his hour he got.
Aye, I get it, mate. Competition for places is a good thing, mate. You know, and I enjoyed the left back's cameo. Jaden is quite steady for us, but Romans looked a lot more powerful, didn't he, if you're honest, mate? Yeah?
He did. He looked as if he was keen to get forward, and one thing that he looked to do differently was he was coming inside the park. Even without the ball, he was coming inside the park to allow space, whereas McComb was quite direct down the line, kind of straight runs. Whether we want to do the inverted fullback, again, initial impressions, you would think that Romans fits that bill more. But remember, he's our player, Magoma's not. So Romans is going to be here next season. The chances are Magoma's not. So if you're going to build ahead of steam, then Romans will be your left back because he's your player. You pay the money from in January, you get him in. He's got an engine on him. His deliveries look decent as well. He's getting him in early enough. But again, Magoma's not done anything wrong in his time that he's played the games. He's grown. He's developed. But I think, as I said previously, going forward, for me, at this moment in time, you'd have Sterling right back, and it looks like Romans will be the left back.
You become more powerful then, mate. A lot more pace in your team, a lot more power. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A fit Sterling. Yeah. You know.
That's it. It's keeping them fit, man. In the minutes, which is the manager's been sensible in doing. Again, Danny Rose not got a lot of things wrong. I know people can look at team selection. I mean, you look at the first half team selection compared to the team that ended, but that's what you want from your bench. You want to be able to bring players on that make an impact, because then the next game you go, do I start them? Will they have the same impact? And that's the decision she's got to make. And it's up to the players to go and deliver and put performances on worthy of a starting jersey in any position.
Aye. Look, the goals will do any of the players any harm. Fejovsky, Antman, Olsen, Moore, yeah. You know, Taft's penalty kick, you'll take that in his stride. As I said, where we are and where we've been, it's ridiculous. Hopefully that gives a wee bit more confidence to the team. We've got the cup tie at the weekend. Put that to bed. A massive game and an informed Murable, mate. Yeah, who play some decent stuff. So it's all about winning again, mate. And then we've got the big tie coming up. So it's starting to build up. The excitement's growing. And hopefully these new players can come in and prove us, drive us on, mate.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully that's what we're all But say the word that we're expecting, we're hoping and we're expecting that's the outcome, that players can come in this window, which they have done, and contribute. And in first viewings, Romans looks an asset. Chuck Wani looks tidy enough. Nadiri looks a big unit. He's going to be quite mobile. Scott Olsen needs just to get up to speed. So, to me, the additions have been right. They've been right areas. We needed a left back. We needed a midfielder. We needed a striker. He had a good chance to score in it. He'll be kicking himself if he never got on the score sheet in the dairy. But his movement, his pace, his power could be a real asset. First impressions, of course, but we'll see how it pans out over time. As you say, cup game, get that out the way. Massive game next week against Motherwell. And the night before it, Tuesday night, Hibs versus Hearts. You never know how that will work out.
You never know, mate. You never know. We just need to keep running, mate. Keep running. And obviously, they're human, mate. We've played 3 games in 6 days as a squad, mate. We went to Europe, so I'm not making excuses. I'm just being realistic, mate. Yeah. Anyway, we've been joined by our Cal. Evening, Cal.
Good evening, Ox. Good evening, Robert.
Evening, Cal.
How's things?
Better than after that second off, mate. Better
after the second off, first off, I'll tell you one thing. Great goal for, what's he called, Majowski. But that's a midfielder's goal all day. No forwards. You know what I mean?
I get your point, mate. But listen, when you're a striker, mate, you'll take goals from anywhere, wouldn't you?
I know that, but I'm just saying, I would expect an Asgard to get that, or somebody else, but Asgard's never going to get anything like that.
He should, mate.
Disappointing, that boy is. A big disappointment.
He had a chance in the first half with a similar spot, mate.
No, but it was right to the keeper. It was a pass back. It should have been a foul for us.
The goal could have took his hat off, his bonnet off, and thrown it in Tapper, couldn't he?
Aye. I mean, really, he's a bit of disappointment for me. I was expecting a bit more for that boy, you know. He's got some nice touches, too slow. John Suter on R1, he's great at stopping things coming in, but on the ball, he's too slow. Long diagonals, the defence can see it when he's pitting them out. You know, you get used to these things, Ox. You should know that, as being an expert at football.
I could never pass the ball that far, mate. See that long
diagonal? No, that's called a punt to me, by the way, as well. You know, it's just a punt up the park, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, but listen, see the Asgard, mate. I'm going to take the 5th and pass it to Robert, mate, because I've got my own thoughts on it, and I don't like to criticise too heavily when we've just won a game 5-1. Robert?
Hey, evening, Carl. Good to hear from you, mate. Listen, I spoke about Asgard pre-show. Ox had my thoughts on him. There's definitely a player in there. There's quality in it. There's attributes in it. You can see it. For me, he's just not done it consistently enough. But when you've got players coming in a January window, coming in off the bench, making impacts, then there'll be decisions made that whether you're fit for a starting jersey or not. And Asgard could find himself in the same bracket as Gassama for me, because these new guys that have come in look hungry. They look like they're determined to win. They're going to put in the effort and the graft, the hard work off the ball as well. And they 2 guys probably may find themselves to be on the bench the next league game. It wouldn't surprise me.
But Robert, I mean, you can say that to any player. Any player that signs a pro contract has something in there as a football player. I mean, I remember, maybe Albert can tell you, Ali Scott, because Queen's Park was signed as a forward. I mean, he could run. He had no hair, but he did have hair, but he used to flip about the back of his seat. There was a player in there, but he couldn't do it. You know what I mean? It's already having a player in there. If you can't perform, you're not really worth anything.
No, I take that on board, mate. I take that on board. And there has been better players and worse players than Asgard Company Club, and they've not cut it out, and their time's been moved on. Some have stayed a bit longer than they needed to, or would have liked to, but the proof will be in the pudding, as Ox always says, to see what happens when we go forward, because when we look at the plans for next year, it's whether Asgard fits into that bill or not. We've moved
I
players
agree with
off
that.
already within 6 months, so he's not going to be guaranteed anything, unlike any player at the club, just because he was signed in the summer. If he's not
I
going
don't
to
like
fit the bill,
I don't
style,
like
he's gonna
burying a
go.
player, Robert. You know what I mean? But he's just not showing it. He's just not showing it. I'm not talking. Great free kick he scored, great goal, but overall, play-wise, he's just not showed it.
He showed glimpses, mate. Glimpses. Yeah, and when he's the type of player that looks casual, that's his style. And so when you're not involved, mate, or it doesn't come after you, you look worse, Robert. Yeah, sorry, Cal. You know,
Aye, I
that's the
know,
way he
but
plays the game.
you're playing for Rangers. The players all come up and say, we want to win silverware. You're never going to win silverware with no doing it. No putting in the effort.
Agree, and he's in a pivotal role. Look, I wasn't happy at half time, mate. We considering the circumstances, because we got a big break. Would you agree? It was a penalty, Robert, but and we both agreed it was a penalty, Cal. So you're thinking, I'm not saying you should be 5 up at half time, but we should have played better than that under the circumstances.
Aye. We're not making any knocks. Really, we're putting in boys, but they're going nowhere. First man in defence, bad pass, you know. Overthinking it at times, you know. I thought Diamandi done quite well, you know.
He was a pick of the midfield three, and Mikey Moore was a pick of the forwards by a distance. I didn't think Miovski or the gas man had a good goal, but
no, I didn't think the gas man done much. He tried, but the boys are getting away. So did Moore a lot of times. He was losing the ball, but you're going to lose the ball. You can't win everyone, you know. You're never going to beat everybody.
Aye,
but you've got to keep coming back for more. That's the only way you get success. You can't get a lot of success with lying down and geeing up.
I thought Moore arguably had his best game in a Rangers jersey tonight.
Aye, I thought he did a great game. The boy, but the new players, no Scott Wilson, he done all right. The new centre forward, adrenaline was there, that's all. But no, you can't say anything for the first game. It's just adrenaline getting you through it and running about, you know, like a wild man. I thought he was quite fast, by the way. The left back, I agree with you. He had an excellent game when he came on.
Aye. First impressions, looked all right, mate.
First impressions, excellent. He looks quite upright as well, you know, when he was running.
Powerful, mate. Powerful, yeah.
Aye. But probably enjoyed it, Ox. Right, I'll away and let somebody else on. Have a lovely evening. I'll talk to you sometime or the weekend. I get beat up on Sunday.
Aye.
With Johnny Walker killed me. That's why I didn't come back on at night.
Johnny Walker.
He's a bugger, I'll tell you that. Bye. Good night, lads.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Cal. Take care. Johnny Walker up to his old tricks again.
I'm glad I don't drink.
Oh no. T2, you are sort from my eyes.
You know, terrible. It's a curse. Anyway, it's hard to be critical when you won 5-1, but it was a game of two halves, wasn't it?
It was, and again, a lot of people will say that maybe team selection wasn't right, and that's on Danny Rowe. But what Danny Rowe done at half time was he changed it, and then he made the changes when he needed to, and the impact of the game. So for me, he got it right because he learned that it wasn't working. We made tweaks, pushing the fullbacks up higher, and then obviously when you're bringing subs on, you want them to go and impact the game, and 3 of them did. So listen, it's a good night all round. I mean, what's turned out to be a frustrating Sunday has turned into be a not so bad week almost, because Hearts dropped points, their game's called off, so we get a win, 5 goal scorers. It's turned into be a decent night, mate. But it's on to the next one now. Get a cup game on Sunday, we'll take care of that, and then focus shifts back onto the league form on Wednesday night against Motherwell, which will be a a tough game because I think, I don't know about you, mate, but when they came to Ibrox in the Boxing Day fixture, the 27th, just after Christmas, it's the best kind of footballing side in the league I've seen play this season. They play really good football at times.
Do you remember the game?
Aye, that was before anything.
Aye, they played some decent stuff, mate. That guy's done a tremendous job there. I'm supported with his players and not having the biggest squad, you know. So well, it's a tricky place to go, like Tynecastle, Easter Road, Pittodrie, you know, Tannadice. Over the years, we've had hard games at these places. We have to go with the right attitude, mate. But we'll concentrate on the night and enjoy it. And look, we've all been critical, and we've all, but we've got to be happy with a 5-1 victory, mate. We'll critique the performance. We've done it. We've said who we thought played well and who didn't. We've said it's a game of two halves. But we're still going to be happy when the final whistle goes here 1-5-1. If you're low, it's nuts, isn't it?
You've got to be happy. I mean, David came on pre-show and said he was worried about where the goals are going to come from. And there we've got 5 different scorers. 2 of them are from the bench. So it shows you there is goals in this team. So you've got to be happy. We've been shouting out for a game where we go and get a 3 or a 4 or 5-0. I know it's 5-1 tonight, but goals in the game, and we've done it. So you've got to be pleased with that, mate. Of course, there's things you'll pick up on and critique what could be improved. That's the life of football. You're never going to get a perfect game. You're far from it. So tonight you take it 5-1, 3 points. Seems to be no injuries. Players out that will come back, and for the next one. So pleasing, mate. Pleasing.
I agree, mate. I agree. Pleased. And we just have to keep this going, mate. Obviously, when our next 2 league games, mate, potentially we could be tapping the table, which is mental.
That is, again, you always go back to the time when Danny Rowe came in back in October, and we're all sitting going, are we going to get top 6? Will we even get Europe? It's still remarkable to say you're in a title contention and conversation, and that's where we should be. Let's be honest, that's where we should be. But from where we were to now, it's some effort from all, not just the Danny Rowe and the staff, but from the players as well, who at times have been questioned over many seasons, and right at the start of this season they were questioned, but they've went and performed enough to get us back in a position. Now it's about going to finish the jobs that come ahead, game at a time, because every game is massive. Bridgeman always says it, biggest game of the season, but this season it is. Every game becomes the biggest game because it's so tight.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get this right. Crib 7907. It must be on YouTube. He said that the goal difference could come down to that. Hopefully, no, if we do the right thing. So we've clawed back some goals. We're only 3 behind Hearts. And I think that's where some of the frustration came with the support, mate, because I think, right, get the second or the third in the first half. You've really took the wind out of their sails, and then hopefully do the same in the second. So, all right, that's a perfect game of football. It doesn't always happen like that. We got the 5-1, mate. Got to be pleased. We've took 4 goals off of Hearts the last couple of days. So 4 after them, and then they've lost last night. So that's a 5-goal swing. Yeah, so we're closing that gap. We're closing the points gap. A lot of things are positive, mate. The main thing is we keep on. But a good point there for Crib. Yeah.
It is a lot of people will look at goal difference because it is so tight with the points total. But as you say, we've still got Hearts and them to play as well. At least twice, isn't that each? So there's games there that we can go and get points on the board. And if it's 1-0 in every game to us, then that's 12 points. That's more important than scoring 3 or 4 or 5. You like to think that you do enough to get the points on the board than the goals, but it will be exciting, mate. There will be twists, there'll be turns. I've said it many times already this season that we'll play a part in it as well other teams. But the first and foremost is that we focus on the games that we're part of, and we go and win the games comfortably. Whether it's pretty or not, you can win ugly. And if you win ugly, then it just makes it a wee bit more sweeter that you've managed to get results on the board. I think that's our 7th league win in a row, Ox. Am I right?
Say that again. Your 7th League One?
7th domestic league win in a row.
Oh no, we drew nothing each on Sunday, mate.
Sorry we did. I forgot about Sunday there for a moment. Tried to forget about Sunday for a minute. Yeah.
It's for number 1 domestic league win in a row, mate.
Perfect. I'm starting the clock again. I forgot about Sunday for a split second. Did you know that? There we go. Unbeaten in 7 league games.
That'll do, mate. It's better than
Aye.
that, isn't it?
With a 8-game run with Ludogorets in there with the Scottish Cup with Annan, so league games I think it's 7 wins. Or 7 unbeaten, sorry.
I'll get it up, mate. I'll check it for you. Listen, mate, the numbers are starting to be good. We're scoring goals. I mean, I think before the game you gave it the January stat, didn't you? Which is quite surprising because we're saying we're not scoring enough goals, you know. Sometimes we did actually all right in January, but before we worried about where the goals are coming from because we've not got a prolific centre forward, yeah.
Aye, that's where it comes down to a team effort. Midfielders contributing, defenders from set pieces. I mean, Fernandes has done that single-handedly. Tav with the penalties the past few weeks as well. There is goals in the team. It's just how you get them, and a lot of it comes down to that chance creation, decision making, making the right pass at the right time. But there is goals in the game. The run we've done, the 8 wins in a row, we scored 28 goals in those games, mate. So there is goals in the team. It's just about making the right choices at the right time to get them and be effective. And again, you want a prolific striker if you can, somebody that can consistently get you a goal or 2 every game to try and benchmark that as a foundation. But it's a team effort. You need other players to contribute, and we got it tonight.
Because the thing is, but for somebody to be prolific, mate, you've got to make chances for them. You've got to make chances.
Aye, and that's one thing I've said as well. Like, we don't seem to play to a striker's real strength. I mean, I know we can touch on Miofsky. We know him as a penalty box striker. Know this kind of coming deep, but that's the way we seem to play. So it's not exactly his strength. Chimiti, we don't really know Chimiti's strength really because he's a target man, but we don't seem to put balls in of good quality from to attack with his head or any part of his body to score. And obviously we don't really know Naderi's yet until we see more of him. But going forward, mate, I'm hopeful based on tonight's performance that there's enough in that squad to push us on, and hopefully at the end of the season we can sit back and look and think what a remarkable season that's been. That's one for the books.
Well, a lot of us would need a big slice of humble, mate. A big slice of humble, because let's be honest, in October, I know somebody predicted we were still in the league title, the league race, but I think he was in the minority.
A lot of people looked at it where we were, and we probably thought at that moment in time we're not going to go anywhere if it stays the way it is. The board made a decision to get rid of Martin and get Danny Rule in. That was change number 1. Number 2 was getting rid of Farewell and Stewart. So off the field matters were taken care of. We got Danny in, and his first job, as he said, was to come in and just win games. Forget about ideas, style, philosophy, just win games. He done it, and now over time, game by game, you're starting to see adaptations of Danny Rule's style, what he wants to do. He's shored up the defence, which gives you the foundation. It's now just being clinical, making chances, creating the right chances, making the right passes, and it will click. And if we start to do it towards the end of the season, so it starts to click right then, that's the most important bit. It's how you finish a season, not how you start it.
But you make him Moore's goal tonight, mate. He's up there. That was an excellent man of the match performance. Getting the goal just topped it off for it.
It did. And I said it pre-show, for me, he needs to be given that kind of free role where he's in pockets of space, and I think he done that as the game went on. He found different spaces, and then obviously the introduction of Antman out left, Scove Olsen out right, it gave him that licence where he was a bit more threatening, chasing down lost causes. At times there was 2 or 3 that he just chased down the line, hoping to keep in, and we actually get a goal from it. I think his goal comes from it as well. Ruskell Volson's one of the ones. I can't need to watch it back again and see. There was that kind of money that he chased down, but his endeavour was there, his effort was there, and as Carl said earlier, when things aren't going right, it's about coming back and doing it again. Moore done that tonight, and he got his just award with a goal.
All right, we've been joined by Josh. Evening, Josh.
Good evening, boys. You all right?
How you doing,
Aye,
Josh?
mate. Aye, how you doing, mate? Long time no hear. You all right?
Yeah, I had a bit of cancer tumour in my stomach.
Yeah.
That's how I've been off. But I've still
Listen,
been.
Sorry to hear that, and all our thoughts are with you, mate. Good luck. Good
I'm
luck.
alright.
mate.
I'm okay. I'm no. So I felt dizzy the last time I was on. Remember, I had that flu and all that kind of stuff, and I was coughing and stuff like that. But then I fainted at work, and then I got a scan, and then an MRI scan, and they found a benign lump, cancerous lump. So they checked it out, and they caught it there and then, and I was in the hospital for like 21 to 28 days for the operation.
How are you feeling, mate?
I'm still a wee bit groggy and stuff like that, Ops, but I've still been following the progress of the Rangers.
5 goals a night. 5 goals a night.
Well, look, I think when I was on the last the start of the season with this Russell Martin carry on the protest and all that kind of stuff, it's a magnificent change, isn't it? It's a fantastic change, turnaround for the protest.
Did you see it coming, mate? Did you see it coming?
I did not. I think we were in too much of a mess. And if I'm honest, we all hoped and prayed it would turn around, but it was just getting worse and worse and worse under Russell Martin. If you can remember, we were on every night talking about it, kind of thing. But I'm fantastic, and I was talking to the guy that I got on with. Well, when you phone up, he puts you through and stuff like that, and has a chat with you, and we agreed. I wonder what would have happened and what we would have won, or if we would have been miles ahead in the league if Danny Rowe was the number one candidate and we just took a punt on him before Russell Martin. Because I remember when Danny Rowe got appointed, he was the fourth choice, I think it was, all the potential managers, and we all cussed and sweared at him and stuff like most of the support cussed and swear, we don't want him because he was fourth in line and all that kind of stuff. But now I think humble pie has been eaten by everybody. And if you look at the guy's record, the guy has been in the top-notch German football around about the German national team and in the Bundesliga, which to me is probably one of the most technical and super leagues in the world. For me, anyway, the Germans, because they know what they're doing. So if you are assistant and run about that top-notch squads week in, week out, you know what you're doing. Although he's just a young guy at the moment, isn't he? So, but fantastic.
I'm really pleased, mate. You can't fault him. You can't fault him, mate. You can't fault his results. He gets a lot right. You know, I don't think he's the most animated at the side of the park. He seems to do a lot of his business at half time, Robert. He gets a lot right. You know, the players, the ins and outs, the ons and offs. You know, modern management, he's all right. He doesn't throw any of them under the bus. He's great in the press. He seems like a reasonable bloke. It's a lot of ticks, Robert.
There is. Evening, Josh. Good to hear from you, mate, and hope you're feeling better, pal. There is a lot of ticks to do. Again, as Josh said, you look at the
I'm okay.
the resume.
I'm okay.
Good to hear, mate. You look at the resume, and you think he's not got the managerial history of what we would maybe look at initially, but his coaching wise, and that's obviously the route we went down, was a head coach. He had a lot of background, and to come into Rangers, there's a lot of pressure on its own, but to come into Rangers when things weren't good, there was a lack of energy between the fans and the squad, or the wrong energy. There was players lacking confidence, belief. There was just this whole atmosphere that wasn't well with the club, let's be honest. To come into that is even more pressure. And as I said earlier, his first job was to win, and he's done that. And he's now starting to win when it matters. Europe was always going to be tricky for him, but league form, bread and butter, go and win the league if you can get is even challenging. Because I think when he came in that door, there was no mention of go and get us a title. I think it would just be a case of win games and see where we end up, see where we can get, and start from next season. But to be where we are now, it's remarkable turnaround from players feeling unconfident themselves, lacking ability, fan protests, to now everybody just believing again. That's something in itself, and we know there's still a lot of games to go, but we're heading in the right direction. We've clawed back a lot of points. We just need to take game by game and win the games in front of us at a time.
Josh, I'm delighted that Danny Rowe. I think when you look
absolutely,
at the
I think you're right.
You know, I'm delighted. You look at the transfer window. Now, I don't know how good these players are going to be. We've got Scott Olsen, who people say he's got pedigree. I don't think he's played a lot of football in a while, so it will take him time. I didn't think he was going to hit the ground running. He scored a decent goal tonight. It's the first thing he's done in 3 matches. Get men involved tonight and looked a wee bit fitter. So he'll be better for that. So hopefully he kicks on and goes to the player that people thought on the right-hand side. Romans, powerful. Don't know if he can defend. He might be the worst defender we've ever seen because we've never seen him defend the right. Robert, agreed?
Agreed.
Aye. But as an athlete and a powerful player and comfortable on the ball, it's a big tick in the box. I think Chukwuemani's done okay and looked as if he needed a bit more fitness, but he covers the ground really, really well, and it'll be interesting to see how he pans out. Big Norderry, yeah. Look, if he'd have scored that goal, it'd have been a great debut for him. He showed pace, he showed awareness, he showed a touch. And if he'd have just put that one on the other side of the post, it'd have been fantastic. But what they've done, he's brought in, I think Romans is about 6 foot, is he? Scott Volson is 6'2" for a winger. 6'4" and 6'3", yeah. Now, we don't know if they're going to be fantastic football players, and hopefully they are. He's brought in physicality and pace, things we were all talking about we lacked. So I think he's got a plan. He knows where the issues is, and hopefully he drives us on and improves us. Robert?
100%. He's identified weaknesses in areas of concern, and he's went and addressed them. And you've got to also say well done to Andrew Kavanagh because he's backed him. Danny Rose went to him and told him what he needs for this window for the rest of the season, and he's went and delivered it. So if it delivers a title, then we look back on it and we think again, what a remarkable season, but what a window that was, because these players came in and improved the squad. The players were believing. It's been a whole team effort and we're successful, but that only matters if we do the job game by game, we win the games. But again, credit to Danny Rowley's staff, but for Kavanagh as well to back him, because he could have looked at it, Ox, and went in October, here's where you're at, get to January, we'll see where we are, but we'll maybe focus on more in the summer. They seen an opportunity here to go in the market, get some good young players, 1 on loan, 1 option, and 3 permanents. And 4 players to come in a January window is a decent good bit of business for any team. And then to have them come in, okay, it might take some weeks to get fully up to speed, but first impressions, they look like they're going to contribute going forward. They could be assets in times to come, but he saw an opportunity to go in and invest in the market, brought players in, and we'll see where it takes us. And there's a good feeling about the squad and the fans, the atmosphere. You compare it to October, November, complete night and day, astonishing turnaround. I just get sent a stat there from Ureke From 51 points
Wait a
under
minute,
Danny
wait a
Rule, we
minute,
took
wait a minute. Wait
42.
till I get my pillow. Wait a minute, wait till I get my pillow, mate. I need some sleep. Carry on.
Sorry, mate. From 51 points, Danny Rule has taken 42 since he came in the league.
I'm glad is that a stat, mate? Is that what we're calling a stat now? AK days times tables? Is that a stat? Is it?
Are you saying that AK would have picked that from somewhere else and used it as his own?
Well, I know he wouldn't be able to work it out on his own, so I'm saying that, aye.
No, I think he's worked it out. Might have took him the whole half of their show right enough to get it, but he's got it.
Yeah. If you see his profile picture, you get a picture of Brad Pitt, he's trying to say it's him. It steals everything, mate.
AI is a great thing these days.
Have you heard his pattern, mate? Oh, dear.
Oh, not yet. I'm sure he'll hear it during the week.
Oh, you might hear it Friday night, mate.
Oh, I'll be cutting across him.
No. I tell you what he is, but he's a big gentleman, big generous gentleman. But he does steal people's stats, doesn't he?
No, I'll take you fifth in that one, mate. I'll put it to him on Friday. I'll ask him.
Oh, he does, mate. He's been cut out, hasn't he?
He's not the only one. Other people take stuff from us, remember. We bring exclusives and others put it out as their own. Not saying any names,
Oh,
but you know.
Mate. One day I'll tell you a story, mate. One day I'll tell you a story. Right, Josh, where are we going with this? How good are we? What's your aspirations? Oh, you all right there, Josh?
I think we could win the league. I'm not just saying that,
right.
but I remember I was on in October and November. Sorry?
I hope you're right.
I remember I was on in October and November, and my thoughts have been, yeah, I'm right. I know I'm right, Hawks, because I backed him. I backed him at 12. Rangers were 10-1 at one stage when we were 9th and 10th in the league. 10-1, and I backed him then. I backed him at 8-1. I backed him at 6-1, and I backed him a couple of weeks ago. The 3-1 outsiders to win the league. We have got out of the three teams, Hearts, Celtic, and us. We've got the strongest team. We are playing the best football. Hearts are riddled with injuries. I don't think Hearts will be there. It's out of us and them. And in my opinion, that is the worst Celtic team that I've seen in a long time. And I said that to you, Ox, if you remember, kept on saying that to you. And if we get our act together, we have every chance. And the man, Danny Rowe, is the man that has come in. And what an outstanding start that is, that the fellas just gave 40-odd points since he came in.
If it's true.
What other manager would do that? What other manager would be given? I know that, but it has to be true, because at the end of the day, we were miles and miles and miles after pace. We weren't winning under Russell Martin. We weren't winning under Russell Martin. We weren't winning. We weren't winning nothing. The Motherwell, St Mirren, Dundee, and all these lower league team Falkirk we were making them look like Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, it was. I remember the game against Motherwell. They ran us after heart. Remember back then in October and November. We have a chance. We have a chance. And the night, Romans impressed me. The boy Romans. I think he's a fantastic player. But what I heard on the radio, BBC Radio Scotland tonight. But Mikey Moore's such a talent, isn't he? And his goal, well, it just fitted off a fantastic performance. But what by the commentary, I thought Moore, Romans would have got the man of the match. But I'm looking forward to seeing more of the boy. And you said that Danny Rowe there has brought in 6 feet plus players. That can only go well for corners and free kicks for us
They're
as
going
well.
to be able to play. And listen, Josh, great to hear from you, mate, and I'm glad you're feeling better, mate, and all the best in your journey, mate. And don't feel free to phone in at any time, but we're just going to wrap the show up tonight, mate, all right?
No worries. Thanks for having me, Ox. Take care, guys.
No,
all the best.
Pleasure, mate, a pleasure.
Thank you.
A pleasure. Thanks to Josh. And it was trying this. I forgot already. Oh, Cal. How could I forget Cal? Thanks for Josh and Cal joining us. Thanks to Robert. Last word for you, mate. And thanks for doing the show with us, mate.
No, always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure doing a show with you. Good to get the 3 points on the board tonight. 5 goals, can't ask for any more. So let's keep it going.
Have we agreed that Mikey Moore man of the match before you go, mate?
Yes. Diamond second, but Mikey Moore by a distance.
Yeah. Danny Rule, 16 league games, no, 17 after the night, sorry. 13 wins, 3 draws, 1 defeat, mate. Yeah.
Incredible.
And all he's done is 13 by 3 plus 3 for the draws, mate. That's what he's done, yeah.
That could be hard work for him, I don't know. But you got
right
there. Cheers, mate.
Well, all I'm saying, I'm proud of him, mate. I'm proud of him. He managed the 3 times table.
You'll be sitting enjoying that one now.
My phone will be beating in a minute, eh?
I have noticed isn't going already.
Listen, we're on a good mood. 5-1 victory. We know it wasn't perfect. First half could be a lot better. Second half, 4 goals and a Jack Butland comedy moment. We'll call it that. That's the time to get it out of the way. Onwards and upwards. Thanks to Robert, as I said. Thanks to Cal and Josh. And special shout out to Josh. Cheer up, brah. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to the players and Danny Rowe. But Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.